Welcome to Basketball on Figueroa, the only podcast breaking down everything happening with the Lakers, Clippers, and Sparks. I'm your host, Edwin Garcia, and joining me today, per usual, is my co-host, Dar-E-N Viziri, a.k.a. Dime Dropper. Before we get to the basketball, Dime, Dodgers, Padres, down 2-1 in San Diego. Tell me what happened tonight.
Man, you thought it was going to be a repeat of, and when I say you, I mean a lot of Dodger fans, including me, felt like it could have been a repeat of 2022 where we beat them in the first game, San Diego, and then lost 3 straight. Our bats have been iffy for a couple of years now in the playoffs. Even our best players came through tonight. Mookie Betts answering all the critics, 2 home runs in back-to-back games. Then the Will Smith home run. That was when I felt as though, Edwin, that we were not safe, but all right, we got to take this. Like, this is our game. This is our game to lose at this point. And to go with a bullpen game and an elimination game, and they all came through. Shout out to all the relievers tonight. A shutout. Are you kidding me?
Shut out in the playoffs, season on the line. Shutout.
I mean, nothing. we have not been a clutch team
no
the last couple of seasons, Edwin. 2 straight NLDS losses. Game 5, Dodger Stadium, Friday night. If I didn't have club practice, I would be there. I went to a game in each of the last 2 NLDS series losses, and it was brutal. Last year, I was at that game 1 where Kershaw got dismantled. I have that vlog, by the way, on the channel if anybody wants to watch it. But, yeah, it's an amazing night. Shout out to all the Dodgers coming up big. Gavin Lux. I mean, we get another game, Edwin, and I don't know, man. We can debate this too right now. It's a good, perfect topic for the show, but I don't know if any team brings the city together like the Dodgers, even the Lakers. Wow, you agree? No, not even any pushback.
No pushback at all. It's a Dodger town more than anything. Like you said, it galvanizes really everybody. Yeah,
really
I think so.
Okay, because when I grew up, I always felt as though Lakers. But I also think when the Lakers are playing, people are just more into basketball, so it's talked about more. Like, you really, during the regular season, have to be a baseball fan to, like, really be following the Dodgers on a night-to-night. Like, I only tune in for a couple regular season games for the Dodgers, so I'm, like, more of a casual baseball fan, but I love the Dodgers. So I watch every playoff game, start to finish. And I know you're probably similar, right? Like,
yeah,
same kind of way. So I always felt like the Lakers were the sports team everyone talked about at school. And if not them, when the Clippers got good, it was Clippers and Lakers, you know? Yeah. So I don't know if it's because the Dodgers have been so much better the last 10 years consistently than any LA team. Clippers have been good consistently the last 10 years, but Dodgers is a higher level, have won that championship, and the tickets are more affordable. I think that's something that's huge for this kind of discussion.
Well, I think there's a lot of things. One, because as you know, the Angels are way on the other side, and also even if they were here, it wouldn't make a difference, right?
It's Orange County, and I think
it's Orange County.
Right. Go ahead.
And I think the other aspect is, again, it's America's pastime. So the way I kind of describe it to people who are outside of it, it's like, oh no, the way I look at it, every Angelino by default is a Dodger fan. And then it just depends on if you want to, like, literally denounce it because you're, like, from Philly or something, or if you just don't watch sports at all, so you're like, I don't care. But other than that, I'm like, if you're here, everyone has, like, an LA hat. Like, it's just different. So yeah, right. On a day-to-day Sports Center / I'm sure with the metrics, yes, you're right. The Lakers games are probably more popular, and there's probably more people who actively watch those games than there are who watch Dodger games. And there's more Laker fans all over the country than there are Dodger fans all over the country. But when the moments are here, when the playoffs are here, and just in general, there is no one is upset that the Dodgers are doing well in LA. Versus, I can see there being people who don't like LeBron, don't like the Lakers, they like the Clippers. You know, there's going to be at least a little fracture, even if it's the majority. The Dodgers are the only team. There is no other. They don't have any competition in that sport, and because of that, everyone just kind of, gets together. It's why, like, my timeline's just everyone's like on board with the Dodgers. While when the Lakers are going on, I know enough Clipper people, I know enough Laker haters where I'll see the other side. I don't see the other side on this one. I'm sure it exists, but I don't see it. It's just the whole city's just behind it, rocking it. And we're only going to see that increase more if luck, hopefully Friday things they take care of business. The next level, it's only going to get more and more bigger and more exciting. And yeah, just looking forward to seeing it and seeing if they can make the run that we're hoping they can make here. And knowing that, next year I think will be even better. So I'm excited.
You made a good point, and I also think to piggyback off of it, I think a lot of the transplants that come hate the Lakers for some reason. If they've come from New York or if they've come from
Yeah.
Boston, they hate the Lakers. Even like if they come from Arizona, they would hate the Lakers. There's so many teams the Lakers have had historic rivalries with, or enough where people just don't like them because they've always been good. Whereas the Dodgers, I feel like there are some real haters, but not that many locally. I feel like
Yeah.
even I know a lot of transplants that have adopted the Dodgers. So
Yeah.
like it's interesting. It's crazy that we agree on that, but I don't know. I feel like if I asked more people what their favorite team was around the city, I think the Lakers would be number one for most people, just because
Yeah.
basketball. But there is the most unity with the Dodgers. As you're right, there's a palpable feel that's larger than any team when they're good. And a lot of it stems from the iconic LA hat. Like when I went to London, bro, it was
Mhm.
Yankee hat, Dodger hat, and then a big gap. And so
Yeah.
it's a brand, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. Like, if you ask me, if you do that poll with me, the answer would also be Lakers. But it doesn't mean I don't like the Dodgers. It just means Lakers is number one. So I think if you would do a poll like that, depending how you word it, you'll be like, well, the number one like pick was, the Lakers, but the team that the majority, who wins the majority vote would be the Dodgers. Because it's like, oh, people were more pro Dodgers than anything else, but the number one team is Lakers, and I think that's the difference. Like a hardcore Laker fan is going to pick them over the Dodgers, but I know Clipper fans who are Dodger fans. I know Laker fans who are
Right.
Dodger fans, Ram fans. Minnesota Viking fans. It just becomes like the whole city gets around it, and yeah, it's been awesome. So really sweet to see that today. It kind of everyone just was kind of stressed out about it all day and like worried it's happening again, and then to see like it finally unfold, and it felt like nobody felt comfortable until about like the eighth or ninth inning. They're like, okay, I think we got this. I think we got this. And then it was like, okay, home free. So yeah, it was a blast. And I can't wait for Friday. It's gonna be fun.
That was a good way to encapsulate it. The popular vote, I guess. That would be where the Dodgers win. And I also think the Lakers and Dodgers, as much as I love the Kings, it's a pretty big gap, like in terms of popularity. You know what I mean? I think those are the two teams that would kind of set the city on fire. I don't know if the Kings would set the city on fire. Did you go to the last Rams parade, by the way?
No, I didn't. I'm season ticket holder from year after that. So, but no, I wasn't at the parade. I saw some clips of it. It was mixed, but there was definitely some representation, but probably not like. I think it's going to take some time for the Rams to get there, but I think they will get there in terms of being the top team here. But yeah, it's fractured because of, like you mentioned, they left, and there's still Raider fans, and people just pick different cities and stuff. I know you were there. I saw part of your vlog there on it. So, what was
Yeah.
your reaction to that parade?
Well, I have a vlog on it. It's not one of my most viewed videos, and people should check it out because it's the only championship parade I've ever attended. It was it was fun for me in the sense that it was comfortable because it wasn't so crowded, which I don't know if that's a good thing for a parade. I didn't have anyone to go with. I literally took the train, the metro, right by, the
Yeah.
Coliseum, and I was running alongside the bus. So it wasn't crowded enough that I had to maneuver. Like I could run alongside. The sidewalk wasn't completely packed. And after that, when they went to the thing, it just felt like a big parade at a festival or something. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of work to do. I genuinely believe that the Clippers would have a bit better parade than the Rams or Chargers right now if they won. I swear, because I think there's just there's enough fans of the Clippers that have built up around Southern California at this point. Even if you put in Orange County, San Diego, as well with LA, and they're so hardcore. You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
would be more enthusiasm. But I had a great time on the Rams parade. Cooper Kupp, McVay, and all them were so drunk, so it was awesome to see them just go crazy. So yeah, that's all I got. But coming up, Laker and Clipper preseason. Unless you had something else to say about the Dodgers.
We're good. Let's keep it going.
Laker and Clipper preseason. They've each played 2 games, right? You 2 games on your end.
Yep.
And we're going to be talking about that after a word from our new sponsor, Mint Mobile. Ever wanted to cut back on your monthly bills? You've got health insurance, you got different kinds of insurance, you got your TV, cable, you've got your phone bill, you've got your electricity, and you want to cut down, simplify that. Well, that's why I'm so intrigued by Mint Mobile, who this video is in partnership with. They offer premium wireless for just $15 a month. I can get high-speed data and unlimited talk and text on the nation's largest 5G network. I can even bring my own phone along with my current phone number and existing contacts. So I'm not sacrificing anything. I've used Mint Mobile, and the thing about Mint Mobile is it's not hard to switch your service. Big Wireless wants you to think it's hard, but it's really not. Switching to Mint is super easy. Thanks to digital eSIM cards, which most phones now have, you can sign up and activate immediately right on your phone from the comfort of your home. If your phone doesn't have an eSIM, Mint will ship you a new SIM card for free. So if you want to save little money without the sacrifice, go to https://trymintmobile.com/dimedropper. That link will be in the description so you can get started. Switching your plan takes as little as 15 minutes. That's Mint Mobile. All right.
There we go.
Clipper preseason. Edwin, what you got?
Oh my goodness. You know me. I know, ask me how many times I've watched the Clippers, the Lakers Suns preseason game. Ask me.
How many times can I take a guess at least?
Yeah, take it.
3.
4.
Wow.
I watched it 4 times. I watched it once, then I watched it again, then I watched it in the background, then I watched it looking at some play. I'm just like, I had to stop. I had to cut myself off. Like today, I was like, should I throw it on one more time? Like, Edwin, like it's getting ridiculous.
Was it that great? Like, what's going on here?
I just can't get enough.
Can't get enough Laker basketball, really.
I'm like, I want to watch more DHOs and horns split actions, and I'm like, let me just can I see something? I'm like, that's the shot that was a bad one. That's a good 3. Can we really get to 53? We're gonna get into all the details, but we finally have, especially for the Lakers. I think what's exciting is so much theoretical. Is JJ Redick a genius? Is he the next Pat Riley? Can a podcaster coach? Can all these? We still don't have all the answers, but we at least got some hints. We got some actual film that we can look at and at least theorize. Yes, it's still preseason. Yes, obviously not trying to win because, you bench your players after a couple quarters and yada, yada, yada. All the, things that make it something that, doesn't count. Now, again, it doesn't count in the win-loss column, but that doesn't mean it doesn't matter. I think that's the key thing. Just like nothing in this life matters, and also everything in this life matters because, as you know, as a coach, you got to establish those habits and be like, hey, yeah, I know this is just practice, but if we don't do it now, we're not going to do it when it matters because we haven't prepared for it. So it's that kind of thing. And I've loved the attention to detail. I've loved what's happened so far. Right now, I'll keep it on the T-Wolves game. Obviously, in that one, we didn't get LeBron. We didn't get AD. So, you saw a lot less of the main guys, but I still enjoyed a lot of what I saw from Max Christie and Dalton Connect. Dalton Connect was really, really good. He was shooting, he wasn't shooting well from the 3-point line necessarily. He struggled there, 2 for 7, but 7 for 13 overall. And he's just, I'm trying to hold back on getting too excited because he's a rookie and probably means he's not going to get many minutes. Most rookies don't with the Lakers. I think the most successful rookie was Austin Reeves. He played like 60 games his rookie year, but that was rare. Since then, it's been a long time since a Lakers rookie during the LeBron era actually got like significant run. So probably going to see something like 40 games out of Dalton where he actually plays, and then how much those minutes are probably depends on who's available, et cetera, et cetera. But he was looking pretty good. I saw a lot of really good things offensively. Redick has mentioned him as a 1% shooter. And from what I've seen, he's probably not wrong about that part. Now, it's going to take more than that. Everybody can shoot in the NBA. He's going to have to be able to handle the ball a little bit better. He's going to have to get much better on defense. And still was a number 17 pick. And even though he was projected lottery, not like he was number 1 or anything. So, there's going to be some work to be done. But that was one player that excited me a lot. Really liked his play. I liked Christie being more aggressive in this game. Dime, did you watch anything on Lakers T-Wolves? How's your preseason? You've been kind of keeping it light. Okay, so I'll kind of run it there. Or actually, if you have any questions for me about this one before we jump into the other one, the Lakers have, and in between, of course, we're going to talk Clippers.
Well, I'm going to ask, how was Bronny? 16 minutes.
Bronny was fine. You could tell he was, the offense is definitely an issue with Bronny. He just cannot He just cannot do anything. He's not a threat, and he's really, really struggling from the field. That's why I laugh when people are like, "Oh, LeBron, he's running everything. He's gonna make them play him 30 minutes." I'm like, no, he's not. You know why?
Who
Because he's
said that?
really
30
people have
minutes
said
at
that.
all?
People have said, like, is he gonna play 25? Is he gonna play 30 minutes a game? He's definitely gonna
He's
when I've told people that he's gonna be in South Bay a lot more than probably even the main team, they're like, no, he's gonna play rotation minutes. I'm like, no, he's not. Like,
Yeah, well, rotation minutes and playing 20 plus minutes is a big difference. He's not JJ is not dumb. He's not going to play him. I don't think he knows Bronny James is not ready to. If the goal is championship contention, which it is when you have LeBron and Anthony Davis basically in his prime, I might add,
yeah.
and D'Angelo Russell essentially in his prime. Yeah, you can't have Bronny James in your rotation.
Exactly. And everybody knows this. And LeBron knows this too. He also doesn't want to see his kid, like, get destroyed out there and be like, hey, I'm making you suck for like 30 minutes a game. So for those people, cool your jets. This is just, there's a little bit of hype, of course, with Bronny, but it'll, as you know, Dime, come Christmas time, you'll forget. You'll be like, oh yeah, I haven't seen him playing in I saw a couple clips before, and that we'll talk about that later. He had a couple of those clips in the next game. But defensively, I do really like his game. I feel like he was keeping up. He was a good on ball, good off ball. I really like his game defensively. For Bronny, if Bronny's going to be an 8-9 year guy in the NBA, he needs to just keep that defense where it's at and just be consistent enough of a threat scoring that you can actually show your impact by being on the floor and not being like, oh, we can't play him. He's just so rough on offense. It's not worth it. So again, he's a long-term project. That's why he got signed in near the end of the draft. And everyone understands that. So overall, that was my take of him. Not too different, but I do like the defense. It's just the offense is just way too behind right now to kind of make any noise. That's the reason why Dalton's at least pushing for how many games. And with Bronny, I'm like, I won't be surprised if it's very low because of the situation, barring injury, of course, from a bunch of players on the roster. But that was it for that. They lost 124-107. But again, no AD, no LeBron. I mean, any game where the Lakers don't have LeBron and AD, you're probably not winning anyway, much less a preseason game. So that's kind of how that happened. And that was in Palm Springs at the, I think it's Acrisure Arena. So that's in Palm Springs. For those wondering, Palm Springs, like, why weren't they in LA? They're not going to be in crypto this entire preseason. The reason is because they're doing renovations. That's part of the whole name change. That name change brought in money, and the Lakers said that money was going to go towards renovations to kind of update that stadium so it wouldn't kind of because try to keep up with the times as much as it can. Obviously, no, it's not going to be $1 billion to like build the whole new thing, but as you've seen, Dime, they've updated the scoreboard. They're working on the concourse floor, and I'm sure there's going to be other things that we're going to notice once they complete renovations. And the goal was they did some of that while the Sparks were playing, like the scoreboard, and they took care of some of the floor and updated some of the images, some of the posters and stuff. But now that there's no Sparks games, there's no Kings games, they probably made sure there's not that many concerts in there. They're really working pedal to the metal to get this done, and that meant no preseason games at crypto. That's why they're at Palm Springs. That's why they're going to go to Vegas later. That's why they're on the road. They just didn't play any games there. So it's weird for a team to not have any home games in their stadium for preseason, but that's why it's happened. Probably be the last year we see that. Now, all right, Clippers later, they'll have something at Intuit, but they were in Hawaii to play the Warriors, right?
Yeah, but the Clippers go to Hawaii almost basically every year.
Yeah, they do go to Hawaii. Yeah, I've seen people who cover the beat use it as an excuse to go to Hawaii. I'm like, it's not a bad reason. Do a little work, a little fun.
Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, tell me about this one. I know it was a close one, but I don't know. I heard more about it like online. It felt like it was a clunker, and then it got kind of interesting there near down the line. I know you mentioned the defense is like a grain of salt. You liked a couple things, so I heard about that on Lockdown. So what did you see here from the defense? What were the positive takeaways from this one?
Positive takeaways that the Clippers have some really good defenders, as you said. Chris Dunn's defense is very good. He's strong. He moves well laterally. He's got active hands. And then James Harden does look slimmer than last year. Looked pretty solid scoring the ball and making some solid reads and pick and roll. They fed Zubats a little bit more than the typical last season. I mean, Zoo had 14 points and 6 boards on 5 for 6 shooting in 18 minutes. So efficient, productive, getting him the ball. He was our leading scorer in the whole game. But other than that, Derek Jones was 0 for 3 from deep. Terrence Mann played only 10 minutes. You saw 22 minutes of Kai Jones and 27 minutes of Kobe Brown
Mm,
and 16 minutes of KPJ. For those wondering about KPJ, he's a let him cook kind of guy. Like, you know what I mean? Go out there, get
yeah.
buckets off the bench kind of deal. Here's what my biggest takeaway was, though, Edwin. There's nothing shocking about this team. It's going to really come down to Kawhi Leonard's health, obviously, but with Kawhi not playing, we're not good. Like, we're not that good.
Mm,
It's just James Harden having to create every single shot down the floor. Norman Powell looks fantastic, by the way. I want to just give him a shout out. He looks really good, but it looks like it's just going to be James Harden. And then when he's out, Kevin Porter Jr. And it's, how those two are
yeah.
talented lefties that can get buckets, but it's a lot of ball pounding. I don't think we're going to have a very great offense in terms of ball movement, in terms of movement. Hopefully, we can, turn defense into offense and get some of our younger athletes out and running. Well, when I say younger, I mean faster players, I should say, not younger. Terrence Mann, Norman Powell out on the break, Derek Jones Jr., those kind of guys. But I don't know, Edwin. It's I don't think it'll be a very attractive brand of ball offensively, but hopefully our defense is good enough. That's my takeaway from that game. And great game winner by Waters, I believe it was, for Golden State.
Yeah. Cool. How as Christie? I know he only played 11 minutes. How did he look? The brother of Max Christie, Cam Christie, there.
I like Cam. I think he has a great enthusiasm to, or should I say, confidence shooting the ball. Like, he lets it fly, which I love to see. You don't want to see a rookie be timid. You know what I mean? He's letting it go, but he just hasn't really shot well so far in these games. But it's not a big deal to me. 1 for 5. He's like, what, 19 years old?
Yeah.
1 for 3 from deep, but good instincts. He's got some of the instincts of Cam. Looks like defensively his size could be good. He's got just the natural instincts good, just like Max, but I wouldn't say he's as good as Max. But
Same.
yeah,
I agree. But yeah, a good prospect. I like his game. I like his game.
not as good as Max yet. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. That'd be interesting. Fun fact: they live really close to each other because I forgot someone asked Max, at one of the Lakers press availabilities about that, and he's like, "No, we thought about it, but we don't live together." He's like, he literally said like he lives like a minute away from me. Like they basically like bought properties next to each other. He's like, I could just walk there in a minute, but we decided we're just gonna keep our space. And then someone made a comment. Well, what about when your parents come? Like, where do they stay? He's like, well, sometimes they stay with me, sometimes they stay with him. So it's like really funny that they're like two brothers playing in the NBA, living in LA, playing for opposite teams, like living in the same neighborhood. Like that's gotta be like pretty awesome. So yeah, I'm definitely rooting for both Christies to do well, and I'll be keeping an eye on how Cam is doing from afar while I'm covering Max up close. All right, so on Sunday we had Lakers Suns. This one, another game in Palm Springs, but this time LeBron, AD played the full starting 5. How did they look? Compared to what they looked like last year under Darvin Ham and Dime, I was really happy. I think that the offense flowed like water. They did lose 118-114, but as you know, LeBron didn't play in the second half, and it was, they pretty much called it after the first 2 quarters. So, and during the first 2 quarters, they were up. Let me see what the score was. At entering halftime, it was 57-69 Lakers. So, and that was when KD was playing, and they were closer to an actual game. And the Lakers kind of kept the same. It's the first 8 players off the rotation were the ones you would expect: AD, Rui, LeBron, D'Lo, Austin, and then it was who was it was Max. Then it was I believe Hayes. Bronny and Dalton came in at the same time at the start of the second quarter, and I'm forgetting one player. Who was the other player that contributed to that part? I think Dalton. That was the other one. So yeah, so I think right now that's probably a good rotation, given that Christian Wood's not available and Vanderbilt's not available. Once they're healthy, they'll probably bump 2 of those players out. Gabe Vincent was the other one who played during that like kind of the first like second wave of players, getting up to like double digits here.
So Connect is going to get rotation minutes, you're saying?
Right now, I don't think so. I think he's got a shot at it, because of the injuries. I think he might get the 10th spot, might get the 9th spot, depending, because he's still got to compete with guys like, other, guards who are smaller, like Reddish, maybe. Reddish
Oh
wins
yeah,
out that spot.
I forgot Cam Reddish is still on the team.
Yeah, and Cam, he's been injured. Well, they were like, he's been playing in training camp, but wasn't doing 5-on-5 scrimmages. But he did play in this game. He played 10 minutes. He just looked okay. He looked healthy, but he just looked okay in terms of his production. But he did play in this one, so I'm hopeful that later this week he plays in the rest of the games, and that ankle soreness finally gets out of his system there. But yeah, overall the starting five looked really good. I really liked it. There were still some mistakes. There were some defensive lapses. I think there were still too many turnovers. There was 21 in the first game, which was too much. And then here in the second game, let me pull up the stats. They had 16, I think 17. So a little bit less, but still, a little sloppy. And they got really sloppy in that fourth quarter. They kind of lost the game there. The Suns outscored them 33-22, but that was when Dalton was out there. Chris, it was like a very young lineup. I remember I saw it for a moment. I'm like, oh, I should take a picture because this is like, it was like Jalen Hood Schifino and Colin Castleton and Max Christie. I'm like, oh yeah, this is like
Max
this
Lewis?
isn't gonna win. Yeah, it was one of those lineups. Yeah, Max Lewis was part. I'm like, yeah, this is the we're gonna get cooked line. The minus 42, and of course, it's what happened. And Reddick talked about that at practice. I think I've actually been in every single practice. I don't think I've missed one so far. And he mentioned that even though, yes, it was preseason and stuff, he was disappointed with kind of how sloppy the young guys were. He's like, they really just like too many mistakes, too many turnovers. But, of course, it's a process. And you're never going to have in a series game, you wouldn't have like, hey, one player has 3 years experience and no one else has one, like, a ball up top. Like, that's not going to happen. So I think it was more so about the inexperience there. But yeah, I think a good start for stuff. Austin's been struggling. His shooting has been pretty poor. 2 for 10 in this game. I think he was also pretty rough in the last one. But I don't worry too much about Austin. He knows what he's doing. He'll be all right. Again, small sample size, and these are preseason games. I've seen him play for years. I'm going to expect him to be more of that player than this one because so far it hasn't been too great. D'Lo was solid, 6 for 12 from the field. And yeah, threes have been a big conversation in time. I think JJ's realizing your words here are going to really matter. And everything you say is going to be like dissected and asked 10 times because he joked after the first game because they got up like, I think about 43 pointers. Or was it? No, it was the second game that he got up to 43 pointers for the team. And he joked saying that, it was good, but they want to push for 50. And the way he joked about it, it was a joke, but kind of sounded serious. So, a lot of articles were written, our side as well, Silver Screen Roll, about like, kind of hinting at like, he might try to go for 50. That's kind of wild. Because the record is by the Rockets, and that's 35.4 or something like that, threes a game. So you're trying to hit, 45.6 or something like that. So you're trying to hit 30, that's 50, that's a lot. And after that game at practice, he was asked about that. And he's like, hey, I was exaggerating. Like, it was a joke. Like, I don't think we're going to shoot 50. He's like, probably like 5 or 6 more, which would put him closer to 40. But still, that's still a lot, or closer to like 37. So that's still a big jump, Dime. So I think a couple things we're noticing. One, he's still kind of harping on shooting more threes. And 2, as you know, it's the great debate. What's a good 3? What's a bad 3? Is it just a number of volume? Like, how are we going to like kind of navigate it? And then the personnel. This isn't a team that screams, we got shooters everywhere. Like, they just don't have that, right? Like, they just don't. So it's going to be a matter of, as you know, being a coach, how much of it's your philosophy? And hey, that's not who you have on the court. So like, maybe you need to trade for those guys, but these guys ain't those guys. So figuring that out. I think it's going to be something to navigate and kind of keep an eye on. And definitely something Laker fans should be keeping on. He wants to shoot threes. I said it, you clipped it out, a couple weeks ago. And I'm like, he just wants to shoot that thing. And so far, what we've seen is true. The numbers have gone up. Yes, he's making jokes about 53s. But again, every joke has a little bit of truth to it. And that means that ideally, you would be up there shooting threes. If you listen to Mind the Game, he mentioned that to LeBron. Shooting more threes. He talked about that concept a lot. He's a 3-point shooter himself. So like it makes sense that that's what he values. And it's going to be curious to see kind of how it develops. But overall, I'm happy with preseason for what it is. I'd like to see at least a couple wins, even if they don't count, just to, kind of get them out of the way. We did get the LeBron moment in the second quarter. Top of the second, Bronny and Dalton came in the game at the same time. And, people took their little pictures. That's it. And then, the hoopla kind of died down a little bit. We'll get another big moment, of course, when it's the regular season. And then hopefully after that, everyone can kind of calm down and he could just be a deep second round draft pick that they got, hoping that he can, one day earn a spot as a rotation level 3-and-D player, which is what I think the ultimate goal for him is. But Don, you have any more questions for me about preseason so far and where the Lakers are in training camp?
How did LeBron and AD look?
Oh yeah, they were good. I mean, LeBron had some really great plays. He had this beautiful chase down block on Devin Booker, and it was just like, oh yeah, I remember this. AD was just a master getting the ball from the block. He was really good. He was good at the top of the key. I really like his decision making. He had this really great dunk where he just blew past his defender. They tried to switch a small guy on him, and he just cooked him. I forgot who it was, and he just slammed it home. And I'm like, yeah, this is it. So yeah, they look great. I think they really like. I'm not going to say it's a read and react offense, but there's a lot of decision making with the ball handler in a lot of what Redick is running. I've watched the film a good amount on specific games, but what I've seen a lot of is horn set, split action, blind pig, lots of blind pig. And as you know, in those kind of systems, it's all about the player getting the ball and making a quick decision. Are you shooting? Are you kicking out? Are you passing? Are you looking for the screen? What are you doing? And I think that they are comfortable in those decisions, and that hasn't really gotten lost. I think one thing Redick has stressed is screening. They have to be better screeners. Just really weak screens. They're not actually, kind of creating the separation that they want and forcing the defense to react. The reason you want to set a screen is you want to switch the situation and force a defense to make a new decision versus the ones that are currently set up, right? And he was kind of talking about that detail being something the team's poor at and getting better at. So I like that Redick's really focused on these details. And he looked kind of tired, to be honest with you. I feel like he's realizing how much work this job is. I forgot, like the second game when I looked at his face, I'm like, yeah, I see there's like some bags under those eyes. I'm like, I think you're putting in some work here. So loving that. But yeah, AD and LeBron looked great together, and hopefully they'll play a little bit more. I think they just will need a few more reps just to feel comfortable. But you already know what you're getting with LeBron and AD. They're like all NBA players and everything. So it's just a matter of making them a little more comfortable with their teammates and their teammates being comfortable of what's being asked of them when they're around the different role. So just kind of making sure they kind of understand that. And yeah, I think overall it's been good.
Well, I'm still going to be hating on JJ all season long. I'll be
You're going to get plenty of times.
Yep.
All right. So before we move on to the upcoming games, we still have a little bit more preseason action before the quote unquote real games start. We do got to talk WNBA Finals. I think it was a good.
Whoa. The Clippers played against the Nets last night.
You're right.
Not like I'm super eager to talk about it, but I'll make it brief.
No, go for it. Go for it. Before you go for it, actually, let me set that up a little bit better. So Clippers, Nets. It's funny because when I was at Lakers practice, Clippers Nets was actually the topic of conversation. Are you going to Oceanside? I'm not going to Oceanside. Oh, we got someone else going to Oceanside. And I don't want to go to Oceanside, but I got to go to Oceanside. So it was a lot of that talk. I'm like, okay, I'm not involved, but I hear you. And then I saw some people actually, some Clipper fans I know also were like sharing pictures. I'm like, oh, snap, you're at the game. So yeah, really small venue. Looks kind of homey though. Looks kind of nice. You shared some pictures, Dime, of like the logo and how it looked. I did think that was a nice touch, how it popped on that floor. But go ahead. Clippers, Nets, Oceanside, Tuesday, 115-107, a Clippers W. Walk me through it.
How about those jerseys, though, Edwin? It's good again. It really feels great again. And the San Diego Clippers logo, it's just that retro feel, the exact same logo from back in the day. We were off to a crazy start yesterday. By the way, not locally televised. What the hell was that? Clipper Vision? You've got to be joking. Yeah, I hope we don't have any games during the 82-game season on Clipper Vision only and not locally broadcasted. That's impossible at this point in 2025. But we were off to a scorching start. And I think the best thing for the Clippers, Edwin, even though it sounds super basic, is scoring the basketball. If we score the ball, we're going to be able to set up our defense. And our set defense is going to be pretty good. Without Kawhi Leonard, I think this will be the starting lineup, the one we used last night against Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. Harden, Zoo, Terrence, Derek Jones Jr., and Norman Powell. The spacing is a little bit of a concern with Derek Jones Jr. and Terrence Mann being iffy three-point shooters. Last night, Derek Jones Jr. made his only three-point attempt. Terrence Mann made his only three-point attempt and was 4 for 4, 10 points. Harden, I thought, was very solid offensively, except for when he started getting careless with the ball. he had 6 turnovers in one half of play. 6 turnovers. So careless with the ball. And KPJ looked pretty good, but it's exactly what I said about the first game. It's just kind of let KPJ dance and everyone stands around, and that concerns me a bit. Good to see Nico Batum back. Don't think we fed Zoo enough. Jordan Miller's pretty good, as we talked about in the summer league. He's a pretty good player. Came in and gave us some good minutes at the end. Kai Jones. Let me just say something about Kai Jones. So his athleticism is impressive. He had a bunch of dunks in the second half. He had like an offensive rebound and dunk, fast break, lob. So he's super athletic. But he feels like one of those kids in high school that just grows a ton all of a sudden, and he's kind of adjusting to his body. And he's just feels a little or looks a little clumsy offensively. Like he doesn't have the best touch. He's like bobbling the ball, and he's just still figuring it out. It could be prone to a big mistake, but he's got enough raw athleticism where I don't think, because Mo Bamba's not some solid backup big, as you know as a Laker fan, he's bounced around recently. It gives Kai Jones a chance to maybe be that backup center, especially considering James Harden's so good in the pick and roll. I feel like those lobs, he'd be a good vertical threat that we haven't really had. But when you're talking about Kai Jones and KPJ and there's no Kawhi, this is not a playing team. If Kawhi's not around, it's not a playing team. It's a lot of Harden, it's just a lot of Harden, Edwin. And it's all basically every game is going to be reliant on him making his jump shot. I am going to despise every second of watching it. We're still making that content. We'll analyze the game fairly. But yeah, I'm a little scared. Kawhi doesn't sound like he's going to play the first game at Intuit Dome, which is crazy at this point. But
yeah,
I mean, it is what it is, right?
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. As you mentioned, it's it's gonna look like it's gonna be more Harden ball. There's no PG anymore, and if Kawhi's not there, the system will be running.
Yeah.
So
I also want to say one thing about Kai Jones. He's still not on a guaranteed contract or even a two-way contract. He's on a training camp deal. He should. We have one two-way contract remaining though, and he should absolutely get it. I think from what we've seen in this preseason, we still got a couple games left. I will be at the first preseason game though, so you, everybody listening, you are going to get a comprehensive tour of Intuit Dome's first game experience. I'm gonna get there early. My boy's gonna come, and he's going to film me going around the whole concourse. We're going to go around the whole outside for you, and then we'll go around the whole concourse, and we'll show everybody everything.
What do you think's going to be, before you check it out, like at this level, what do you think your impressions are going to be? How do you think you're going to feel? And what are you kind of concerned about entering the new stadium?
So I want to capture, the difference in the drive, one. I think the 405 for me going that way, 405 South, is going to be much more frustrating than the 10 all the way down to downtown, because it's so much of that traffic is going towards that 405 exit. So that's going to be tough. And then the parking, I'm concerned about the availability of that West Garage or whatever it is and how much they're charging. Because I had a spot in downtown right across the street from the pantry, usually maximum of $20 for a Clipper game or Kings game or Sparks game. So I'm nervous about that. And then after that, once we park, I think it's going to be amazing, everything else. Like, I'm super excited to see the crowd, how it feels. I'm going to be sitting in the wall, but it's interesting how they have wall tickets available on StubHub, even though they're supposed to only sell those to Clipper fans. And on Ticketmaster, I saw you have to have a code for the wall. But on StubHub, they were selling some tickets on the upper section of the wall, even though there's no actual divider. But what is on the same level as the other side on StubHub. So I'm gonna still be there. Comprehensive tour. That's gonna be a long video, but it's gonna be a very good video. Gonna see everything. So it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm also looking forward to when I'll go first. I think it'll probably for Lakers Clippers, but I don't know. Maybe I'll make a trip before that. I haven't gone to any of the concerts or anything, so I haven't experienced it just yet. But definitely gonna go this year. That's gonna be a must. All right, so what else is a must? Talking about these WNBA Finals time. I think we got the best of both worlds. I was right. You were right. I was wrong. You were wrong. Even because we ended up getting the Lynx. Like I told you, defeating the Sun and
Can I
advancing.
I mean, I'm not trying to give myself an excuse here, but can I say something? I
Go for
thought
it.
for some reason, because I didn't check the standings fully when I came back home, that the Sun had home court advantage for some reason. I don't know why I thought that.
They're
I
close,
thought I
2 and 3. So yeah.
I thought I was just going with the home team, the higher seed in both. But yeah, I'm no excuses though. I got it wrong, but I don't know. I feel like I may have reconsidered had I seen that the Lynx were at home court.
Yeah, so Lynx took care of business. Just to keep it short here, that was a great series. It was back and forth, tight the whole way, except for the last game. In the last game, Fee was like, "Oh wait, I'm the best player on the court," and she just kind of took care of business. And then Courtney Williams really stepped up. I think she had like 21 points. She was just killing it. I just loved. I mean, she's always been a firecracker, Dime, but she really brought it in this series. I think part of it was she used to be a Sun player a couple years back, and I don't think anything like kind of bad happened. But I think she looked like she got a little extra joy of being like, yeah, I used to play for that team, and I'm taking it to them, and I'm taking away their chance of getting a title. I'm cooking them right now. Like this is fun. And she was yapping the whole time. She was having a great time. And yeah, she just dominated like from start to finish. She just like, I'm one of the best players on the planet, and I'm better than whoever you got, and let's go. And yeah, the guard play just kind of took a dip for the Sun. Marina Mabry, she's been the X factor, but she wasn't much of a factor in this game. She hit like 1 3 in the beginning, and I thought okay, and then that was it. I was like, oh, all right. And then they got the mouth in that first quarter. Really, the Sun just went dead from the field, and the Lynx just kind of applied pressure, and they kind of ran away with it from there. Yeah, you were gonna say?
I was gonna say that this was Mabry, didn't she get hurt for a sec?
Yeah, she did. She got banged up like in the second quarter at some point. I think she might have either almost walked all the way to the back or actually did go to the back, but then she did come back in. But yeah, she got banged up on a play on a foul or something. Like late in that first half.
The Minnesota Lynx, man. Yeah, the first game we were talking about how good of a job Alyssa Thomas did on Fee. After that, she was unbelievable. And she really doesn't have many weaknesses. She's not a fancy player that has like some bag or crazy wiggle to her game, but
Yeah,
she's really good at just like playing off of 2 feet, having counters to things. She can face up against slower bigs and then can dominate and really works hard off the ball to get good post position or set screens and roll hard or run the floor well. She does all the little things to find the dirty points. You know what I
yeah,
mean? As well as her offensive skill. So it was just incredible to see that. But I think the biggest thing for me, Edwin, was like, these two teams are good defensively, but the Lynx, they're a really good 3-point shooting team. They hadn't had that one game where they're just splashing from 3. And this was that. And I just think the Connecticut Sun had to work too hard for their shots.
yeah,
And it's exactly what you kind of said. Alyssa Thomas, such a great playmaker, but when all she's doing is kind of like facing up at the foul line and asking for a screen, they're all going underneath. Teams are just kind of packing the paint. Sometimes she'll get it out to the Dewana Bonners and the Mabrys and the Ty Harris, Carrington, but it's just not enough shooting out there, and the defense isn't bent enough. And it's not like she's catching it in the low post or something. And she doesn't have like a bad post game or anything, but
yeah.
she seems like she likes to do the Giannis, like face up and charge into people and make a decision. And she usually makes a great one, but I feel like the defense can see what's coming. You know what I mean? And they're sagging off. And Dewana Bonner also really great player, but creating her own shot, she doesn't get great looks. It's a lot of jump shots for me. And Courtney Williams, she had a dynamic effect that the Sun guards just didn't have. Her ability to handle the ball, come off those screens, quickly coming off those screens for those mid ranges, and man, she was just electric. So congratulations to the Lynx. Where do the Sun go from here? Like how can you get better?
Yeah, I think they'll have to make some tough decisions. I think if they want to win, again, yes, the WNBA is way more of a bigs league, But even when the NBA was a big league, you need those guards who can just get you buckets, especially in these kind of games, right? Who can just be like, you know what, be the player, just take the ball, make the decisions. You're gonna dish it out. You're gonna, they just don't have. They have some good guards, but I think they need like a Skylar Diggins Smith level guard, a Kelsey Plum level guard, who's just like, you know what, I don't need anything. Actually, I can just drop 20 by myself, and I'll do that every single day. And to me, I think if you can somehow keep Bonner Thomas and get that guard and have that be your big three, that's why they traded for Marina Mabrey, because they needed that offense. But Mabrey's great, but she's a little streaky. You still need someone. You just need that. It's kind of like it's apples and oranges. But when the Rams traded for Stafford, because they need I need a star quarterback, like truly elite, and I don't think they have a truly elite guard. And even if they got out of this series, I wouldn't pick them against the Liberty for the same reason. It's just you're just not going to have the player you need. And like you said, they have to work so hard for their baskets. And that's just going to add up when you're playing against, we're talking about the tip top of the league. You really need to have it all. And the one thing they're missing is elite guard play. The Liberty have that, and obviously I think the Lynx have, it's a little bit lower than what you want, but they have enough, and they have that superstar best player in the post in Fee, so it kind of balances out a little bit. So I think that's the main thing. They're gonna need to find an elite guard somewhere, whether they have to trade for one, get some draft picks, go try to find one in the WNBA draft. It's not enough. They work too hard for their points, and unless some of these other teams fall off, I just think this won't be enough to win a title, even though it's clearly enough to contend and be a really good team.
One thing I did mention though before the series is like, if you're going to be a bigger team with worse spacing, like the Connecticut Sun, you got to play through your bigs. They played through Alyssa Thomas though, like bringing it up. And then, as I said, a bunch of off-ball actions for her to like just kind of see the floor. But Bree Jones, when they fed her the ball in the post, she was really solid in this series, in my opinion. And in this game, she was 7 for 12, yet DeWanna Bonner and Dejanay Carrington have more shot attempts. And I remember thinking, like, she was drawing double teams in game 1. So, like, that's something I thought, and that's not, to me, just like a total Stephanie White thing. Maybe you can say a little bit, but this is a modern basketball thing where teams are just not really, like, the one thing they're not eager to do is play out of the post. But if you're going to play double big like that and you have post-up players, you kind of have to, a little bit more than they did, at least in my opinion. So that's just one of my takes on that. But what a finals we have in store, huh, Edwin?
Yeah, and then we'll get to the other one here. We'll just recap the final game. Liberty Aces, I told you, I'm going to roll with the Aces until the ship sinks. And man, my shoes got soggy in that first quarter, and I'm like, oh no, here we go. I'm like, I could hear the band playing. I was like, hey, well, it's going to be that. And props to the Liberty. They've been the best team in the W the whole season. It's never been in doubt. I just wanted to see them kill the king or the queen in this scenario, and they did. They were just like, okay, you want to see it? Here it is. And I'm like, cool. And yeah, just an incredible game from Sabrina Nesco. I mean, talk about like, eating the heart of the opponent. They did such a good job. Stewie was amazing. And yeah, I think this is it. Like they've done the what the basketball gods want, which is go through the process, get really close, fail, come back, overcome. There's a reason, Dime. You know this. You're gone through the history. There's a reason this is what happens to teams. Like you have to learn how to lose, then come back, and then you do it. You do the thing. And they finally did it. They knocked off the Giant. First playoff series. Becky Hammon loses as Aces coach right here. Ends the three-peat attempt back-to-back. We're going to have a new champion. The Liberty have never been champions. So if they win, it'll be the first time in WNBA history for them, while the Lynx have 4 titles. So they're going for their 5th one, but their first one since like 2017. So it's been a while for them too. So Dime, yeah, it was an incredible game, and New York just kind of brought it right away. I think the first basket was in a Nescu 3, and she just kept it going. 5 for 8 from 3, 7 for 14 from the field. We already talked about Brianna. She played just about every single minute of the game. So yeah, just an all-out great performance. I think Leona Fibic has been so huge for them, gives them size and versatility defensively. And shout out to Vandersloot. She's been a starting point guard in this league. She's won the highest levels as a starting point guard. to be gracious enough to accept, hey, I'm getting benched for a rookie, even if though it's an older rookie because they played overseas. I'm being benched. I'm still going to be a star in my role. I'm still going to do my thing. And she balled out too. 8 points, 3 dimes, 3 for 5 from the field, 18 minutes of play. She did great in the time she was given. And that's what it takes. Players sacrificing, doing what's needed, grinding it out. This series still had some close games, even though it went 3-1. It could have definitely gone, 2-2, gone to 5 games. It could have went the other way, but New York they had the poise. They took care of every ace run during the games that they won. They took care of the aces throughout this game. It was never really in doubt. You just kept wondering, are the aces going to make one more push? And the answer was no. Liberty kind of stayed in control, 176-62, and yeah, go ahead and tell me, Dime, a little bit more. Take your victory lap. Why were you right? Why were the Liberty able to kind of take care of the champs?
Just a deeper team all season long. Their defense is amazing, but their size was overwhelming. You talked about Leonie Phoebus. She's been a revelation. Vandersloot's gone to the bench, and in fairness to her, that fourth quarter, she brought him home. When the Aces were not totally out of it, and then it was that fourth quarter where the Liberty just clamped down, but also Sloot had huge baskets, 23-11 in favor of New York. So the game was a 14-point win for the Liberty. It was a 2-point game going into the fourth. And to me, every big needs good guard play to win a chip. So if someone like my uncle, he's big into the big can't be the best player in the world because they need to be given the ball. And as great as a ball handler as Asia Wilson is for a big, her guard play kind of let her down. And it felt like the best she could get was low post touches where she'd get doubled, or the foul line where she likes to face up. And the second she make a move, and she already has John Cole Jones on her. Second she makes a move, they're converging, making someone else beat them. Edwin, Jackie Young, Kelsey Plum, and Chelsea Gray combined for 9 for 34 shooting in this game. Jackie Young was 1 for 10. And I don't think Jackie Young looked like herself after the Olympics at all. She didn't look like herself at all. And she's one of the best players in the league to me. Kelsey Plum, majorly struggling defensively, especially getting beat backdoor several times. Alicia Clark really offered nothing. They got nothing offensively besides those 4 players. I actually thought Chelsea Gray played better in the playoffs in the regular season, but she also looked a step older. And I'm guessing nowhere near how she played in the years they won the title. But Sabrina Ionescu, she has not gotten her due, in my opinion, this season. Maybe I'm not enough W circles. There's so much talk around Caitlin Clark. And even the All-Star game, there was Arike Love. Yeah. Sabrina has been so much better defensively this season from what I've heard. Because I've seen the games this season, but obviously last season I wasn't watching as much. Her floater is cash. She legitimately, like Caitlin Clark, draws 2 when she gets a ball screen almost every single time because of her pull-up shooting ability. Her passing is solid. Her defense was good in this series. And to me, she was awesome. But the person I have to give the biggest shout out to, best player in the series, Stewie. One of the best. We a lot of Asia Wilson GOAT talk, but Breanna Stewart is one of the best players in basketball history in terms of resume. And if she adds to it with this, gets the Liberty their first title, I mean, come on. What a resume. What a player. Does she have any weaknesses, really? I mean, maybe she shoots too much to some people, but I don't know. I love her aggression. Defensively, she made some crazy rotations.
Yeah, she was all over the place.
Everywhere. And I mean, she can get the ball and go. She moves the ball quick. She moves really well without the ball. If you have a smaller player on her, she posts up. She can face up. She's got a handle. I mean, one of my favorite players I've seen in women's basketball, but honestly, basketball players playing right now, Edwin, honestly. Just a spectacular player. And yeah, John Cole Jones had a really good series as well. They got a bunch of dogs over there. Lainey Hamilton. So congrats to Liberty. I've been saying I want them to win a title since the Sparks have not been involved because they don't have a ring. And they've been a franchise for forever. So I want them to get this. And Stewie just adds to the legacy because I've become a big fan now. She's incredible.
Yeah, no, Stewie's great. Sabrina's fantastic. It was one of the reasons I was so excited when she did the 3-point contest. I was like, she could beat Steph, and she damn near did. It was like, I think, what, 1 or 2 threes away, because and that was her. One thing I was kind of mentioning about, I'm like, she's in her off season. I would love for Steph to face her now when she's like in rhythm. I know she's had a rough season this year from 3, but I'm like, I would love to see her when she's like right in the middle of it, like what it would be like. But yeah, she's incredible. Stewie, yeah, like you said, I was thinking when you were talking, like, what would I say is her like biggest mistake? And man, you really got to start nitpicking. I'm going to start looking at, like, I don't know what I'm going to be looking at.
Her biggest
Did she
flaw, you
tag
mean?
the roller? Yeah, because did she tag the roller enough? Like, I'm gonna have to really start to get into the minutia, because
she's completely
she
tagged the
does.
roller. Her
Yeah, I
rotation,
know, but
yeah, amazing.
that's
The
what I'm
way
saying.
yeah.
I was looking at like the super nuance, like, all right, maybe how many hockey assists does she have? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm gonna have to figure something that, like, she's not doing really well, because yeah, she's pretty complete.
The Liberty just played good ball. So do the Lynx, though, man. It's going to be a really great finals. As I said in our last episode, the best 4 teams in the W play a better brand of ball for what I consider good basketball than the NBA teams. Just a lot of good ball movement, much more off-ball movement. And a lot of it's because these players played in like systems in college. Like, I think that mattered for several years. Like with Breanna Stewart and even Asia Wilson, they have amazing skill, but they also have the fundamentals, the basics down. They do all the little things so well. And so I'm just a big fan. Asia needed some more help, but also she could have had a better series, I think, but I don't think it would have made a difference. I don't think it would have made a difference. So congrats to the Liberty. And are we giving our predictions now?
Yeah, let's do it. Before we do that, real quick, again, another best of 5, first to 3 wins, starting off in New York, because clearly they've been the best team. It is also this, and that's what I like about the W, since it's always series. This is the Commissioner Cup. If you remember, it was Liberty versus Lynx, and the Liberty won. So far, the Liberty is not a treble, but that's what it would be in my mind, because they'd be the number 1 seed, win the Commissioner Cup.
The Liberty won or the Lynx won?
Wait, didn't the Liberty win?
I thought the Lynx won.
Let's see. Maybe I'm thinking of last year when it was Liberty Aces.
I'm almost positive that the Lynx.
You're right, the Lynx. Oh my goodness. Okay, dang. Okay, well, the Lynx can get 2 of the 3 then. They can get the Commissioner's Cup and the title, but they can't get the top seed, because that was Liberty. Man, no one's done it yet so far, Dime. A couple teams have gotten close, but no team's been number 1, won the Commissioner's Cup and the title in the same year. So, like the WNBA treble, I want to see a team do it, but we won't see it this year. But we will see a rematch of that Commissioner Cup. And that's why in the W, what's interesting about the Commissioner's Cup is it usually is actually the 2 best teams. A couple years back, we had Sky Aces, and the Aces lost it to the Sky, who ended up not making the finals, but almost did. And then we had New York Liberty versus Aces. We had Lynx Liberty this year. So a lot of times it is kind of a preview of the WNBA Finals. And now that we have it here, it's going to start Thursday in New York. Sunday's game 2 New York. And then Wednesday will be game 3 at Minnesota. And then Friday and Sunday would be game 4 and 5, obviously a couple weeks away, on the 18th and 20th, if necessary. Dime, who are you picking and why?
Well, the Lynx are 3-1 against the Liberty this year, if I'm not mistaken. I just think that the Sabrina Stewie combo being the 2 of the 3 best players in this series. I mean, do they have 3 of the 4 best players in this series, Edwin?
So I would definitely put Fee over Sabrina.
Yeah, Fee's the second best player in the series. She's the 3rd best player in the world at lowest.
Yeah. So, and I probably would put her, but actually, I think Fee's the best. Oh, Fee and Brianna's pretty rough. I don't know.
I mean, this series might tell us a little bit more. They're both UConn.
Sure, yeah.
But Dewey, she has those chips under her belt, and I don't know. It's just she's got that.
Yeah, I would say the Liberty at least have 3 of the 4 best. Yeah, because Brianna, Sabrina, and Jonquel, I'll take them over the rest of, not including Fee, the rest of the Lynx.
That's why I'm going with the New York Liberty. I want to say 4 games, but they've played them so well. So maybe there's something to it. So I'm going to go with 5 games. You close out at Barclays at home in front of the fans.
I'm going to say I'm going with you as well. I'm not even going to go contrarian because it doesn't make sense. I think the Liberty, I thought whoever won Liberty Aces was going to win the whole thing. And I was going with the Aces, but now that the Liberty did it, I'm going to say they take care of business. The Lynx as an organization have a lot of history. These players, not so much. And I think that's going to show here. The Liberty know what it's like to lose this. They literally lost it last year. They are not playing around. I don't think they were joking when they were winning those games. And they're like, we haven't done anything. Because they're like, we've made it all the way to the finals and blew it. So, like, we're not impressed by nothing. So I think they're going to be on a mission. I think they're going to be surgical. I will give Fee and the Lynx one game. I think they probably win game 3 out of desperation, force a game 4, and then the Liberty say, hey, we're not even going to play around with this. We're going to slam this door shut. Liberty in 4, I think they take care of business. And I think this is just another example for the Lynx. Now they'll be the team that didn't have enough guard play, that wasn't quite ready, didn't have enough offense, couldn't handle that intensity. Barclays is going to be rocking. It's going to be rock. You're going to have Spike Lee, John at Fee. It's going to be like, I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun tomorrow for game 1. The energy is going to be at an all-time high. It's going to be great. And I think they're going to literally going to feed off that, and they're going to bring their absolute best. And the Lynx better be ready, because the Liberty, they've been waiting for this moment for a whole year. They're here now. I think they're going to take care of business, and I got them winning the title. So, and I got them winning in 4. So we'll keep you updated on that.
Even though I don't want to give our cross country, foes a lot of love, right now New York sports are popping off, man. Yeah. The Jets are better than they've been in years. The Mets and the Yankees are in the playoffs. The Knicks have an incredible team. The Liberty might win their first title. Like, geez, it's getting Big Apple. This is a great time for a New York sports fan right now.
No, yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah, they've been up. They've been up. So we'll see who actually finishes the job. But the Liberty are the first one.
If we win on Friday, Mets, Dodgers. Shout out to my boy Fabian, Mets fan.
I know some Mets fans too. I'm like, you're a Mets fan? I'm like, okay, got it. Clocked it. I'm like, okay, let's see what happens. So yeah, so we'll see when we come back to the show. We'll be done with the first 2 games, so we'll see where things are heading into a game 3. So we'll be able to keep updating the finals as they go on. All right, last thing here, let's touch up the upcoming games. Again, it's preseason, so we'll just kind of go through what's happening tomorrow, Thursday. Lakers at Bucks. Where are you going to watch it? You can watch on NBA TV, but the best place to watch it is with me on playback on Silver Screen and Rolls channel. I'll be taking care this year of all the road games because I'm not traveling with the team. So I'll be here at home and watch with me. I got some VIP passes, so if you don't have League Pass or whatever, don't worry. Just come through, ask for VIP. I'll be promoting it throughout, and then I'll hook you up. You can watch through it. So I'll be watching their Lakers at Bucks. We won't do any predictions on games because it's preseason. So let's hope that everyone plays good and everyone comes out healthy. And that's the prediction there. Friday we got Clippers Trailblazers 7:30. That the one here, Dime?
No.
Where's that one at? I have to take a look.
Let me check. I don't, me, Edwin. I'm not even not all
the
in.
One time you're not all there. Let's see. Let's see if I can pull up where that's at.
I got it. It's in Seattle.
Okay, got it. Okay, I thought it was here for some reason. Okay, cool. So that's gonna be on the road. All right, cool. And then Monday
I think it's technically supposed to be a home game, but it's close to Portland because Ballmer's doing it, right? And he's from Seattle.
Yeah, same thing with the Lakers. The Palm Springs games were technically road games. You explain to me how that was a road game. I'd love to hear the explanation, but on paper, it was a road game. Clippers and Mavericks. That one is going to be.
That's the one I'm going.
That's the one you're going to. Yeah, so be on the lookout. Dime will give us a report when we come back, probably on Tuesday. But again, another weird one for the Lakers on Tuesday. Lakers Warriors, another road game for the Lakers in Las Vegas, not at Golden State. And they won't even be at they'll be at the T-Mobile arena, the Aces Stadium. So that's where the game's going to be. So it's preseason. It's a little wild. It's not going to be in normal spots. We got the Clippers playing Portland and Seattle, and we got the Lakers playing the Warriors in Las Vegas. So we're all types of drunk over here, but that's what's going to happen there. And then we'll probably, Dime, either do a show Tuesday night or Wednesday, depending on what our schedules look like. But yeah, excited for that. Hopefully, again, it's preseason. All you want to see, couple positive signs and nobody get hurt. It's enough injuries as it is. Let's just get healthy and come back with the same injury report we have now. That'd be great. And then we'll catch up on what's going on in the WNBA Finals as we get closer to the end of that season and the beginning of the NBA. All right. That's the end of episode 46 of basketball. Oh, good.
Just before we closed out, I wanted to say brief shout out to one of our partners, Sports Spider. If you're tired of searching for multiple websites or for sports news, sportspider.com has you covered. They collect the latest articles, videos, and podcasts from around the web and organize them by your favorite team. If you want to stay as updated as possible on our Clippers and Lakers, hit the link in the description to check it out. That'll be under the Mint Mobile one. But let me just say this. If you go to Sports Spider right now and you click on Lakers, guess what 2 of the top 3 things you're going to see right now are? This video and Edwin's article on Silver Screen and Roll, the most recent one. And if you go to the Clippers tab, also this video and Locked On Clippers right under it. So you can find us on Sports Spider as well. Shout out to them. Dodgers Game 5 Friday. And of course, I just did a video doing my Eastern Conference predictions. So check that out on the channel.
All right, that's fantastic. Yeah, check that out. And that's the end of episode 46 of Basketball on Figueroa. Once again, I'm Edwin Garcia. That was / is Darian Vaziri, aka Time Dropper.